This is the Steve Gruber Show.
It sure is, and welcome to it. Kicking off another brand new day here on the Steve Gruber Show from the foxhole of freedom. It always makes me ask, who is going to be there with you when it matters most? Who's going to be in the fight with you in that foxhole? Lots of work to do here today, of course. The government shutdown, well, guess what? It's over. That's number one on the list. The government shutdown caused by the Democrats that after 6 weeks of failure finally conceded it was going nowhere and only hurting Americans. Thankfully, they came to their senses and it came to an end with a signature last night from Donald Trump. Number two, Democrats quickly pivoting away from the massive failure of their government shutdown to the Epstein files again, obsessing over emails from years ago mentioning Donald Trump. But is it anything important? We'll take a look. And number three, a warning for you today, a warning. Socialism is on our doorstep and will be here full-blown and soon with an ugly America ending vengeance. That is, if Republicans don't wake up and soon. The Democrats are in a wild civil war right now, as you know, but do not kid yourselves. The Republicans, the uniparty, will soon be in the political guillotine if they cannot provide economic hope for younger Americans, specifically young women who right now are moving left at a furious pace. The rise of Mamdani should not just be a punchline, but a warning of the gathering storm on the horizon. Make the American dream a reality and not a bumper sticker, or we're going to pay a price. And the price may be the end of America as we know it. And once it's gone, it will never come back. This is the warning. The Declaration of Independence reads, "We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, that among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness." The left, however, has conflated happiness with the guarantee of happiness. The pursuit is now a guarantee, and let me explain why those are two very different things. The government cannot guarantee your happiness, or anything else for that matter, but socialists refuse to accept that. They want to believe that if you can just tax enough billionaires, who wouldn't exist without capitalism, by the way, if you just tax them enough, and if you can fund enough social programs, the government can guarantee your happiness through affordable or maybe even free housing, free education, free healthcare, and a host of other pipe dreams. But what we have seen time and again is the government is the wrong vehicle through which those objectives are pursued. The U.S. government is massive. It's bogged down by red tape and bureaucracy and by the needed checks and balances that exist to curb authoritarianism. It cannot serve the varied individual needs of 344 million people, and Americans don't have any right, they don't have any right to demand the U.S. government provide these things. They have the right to pursue them. That's it, to pursue them. They should be able to pursue housing, education, healthcare, a good job, and the list goes on, without government intervention, without prosecution, without criminalization. When we try to conflate the right to pursue happiness with the right to happiness itself, we get an inefficient government that gobbles up tax dollars and gives out almost nothing of value. Instead, we get inflation, the hidden tax, as explained by one of the greatest minds and free market economists ever to live, Milton Friedman. Here's your first lesson of the day. Listen.
Inflation is the most destructive disease known to modern societies. There is nothing which will destroy a society so thoroughly and so fully as letting inflation run riot. Inflation doesn't arise because you got consumers who are spendthrift. They've always been spendthrift. It doesn't arise because you've got businessmen who are greedy. They've always been greedy. Inflation arises because we as citizens have been asking you as politicians to perform an impossible task. We've been asking you to spend somebody else's money on us, but not to spend our money on anybody else. Everybody talks against inflation, but what he means is that he wants the prices of the things he sells to go up and the prices of the things he buys to go down. The real tax on the American people is not what you label taxes. It's total spending. If Congress spends $50 billion more than it takes in, if government spends $50 billion, who do you suppose pays that $50 billion?
Of course.
The Arab sheiks aren't paying it. Santa Claus isn't paying it. The Tooth Fairy isn't paying it. You and I, as taxpayers, are paying it indirectly through hidden taxation.
That's right. Education time here at the Steve Gruber Show. Professor Milton Friedman. The more responsibilities we hand over to government, the less opportunity we have to pursue those freely, if at all. Case in point, healthcare. Healthcare is a sticking point for many Americans, millions of them, in fact. It has the young and old alike depressed over the options and the cost. And now many Americans think the answer is government-subsidized health care, a single-payer system. We've already tried this in the form of Obamacare for 15 years. It's only made the problem worse. It was not the utopian dream that Democrats promised it would be. It was a dream only for the insurance companies, which shouldn't be a surprise because they're the ones supporting it. And they're the ones that cashed in a very big way. In the last election cycle, the top 5 recipients of campaign contributions from the healthcare sector were Democrats. Kamala Harris topped the list, receiving over $5.5 million from the industry. The next 9 recipients were also Democrats, figures like Senators Sherrod Brown and John Tester ranking 3rd and 4th, and $3 and $4 million each. It's no coincidence that Brown and Tester both sat in the Senate Finance Committee where they were instrumental in developing the now failed policy. But let's look deeper into the archives because all of this pales in comparison to what the mastermind of the Affordable Care Act, Barack Obama, pulled in from the healthcare sector back in 2008. During his presidential bid in 2008, Barack Obama raked in, get this, $20 million from the healthcare sector. $20 million just that year. Don't tell me money doesn't affect policy. This is outrageous. And where are all those Democrats that scream about getting money out of politics? But that's just the beginning. The healthcare sector didn't stop there. They dumped over $1.2 billion on lobbying members of Congress just during the 2009-2010 legislative cycle, and another $173 million just in campaign contributions for federal candidates in 2008 and 2010. The majority, yes, going to Democrats. Why? Why were they willing to pump that much money into the party? Well, for starters, insurance companies saw their stock rise 200 to 300% after the passage of Obamacare. That's right, their stocks doubled and tripled, along with Nancy Pelosi's net worth. They're still benefiting today. The top insurers in our nation have seen their profits increase by 700% since Obamacare. In 2010, they were pulling in between $8 and $10 billion in profits. Today, that number has ballooned to over $70 billion. Obamacare was sold as a basic human right for the average American, but really, it only lined the pockets of insurance companies who were already profiting billions to start with. And today, only 7% of Americans actually use the program. Let that sink in. But we can't just tell the next generation this without some solutions. We are losing the next generation. Don't let the success of 2024 fool you. Rasmussen Reports pollster Mark Mitchell has some blunt news about it. Here he is.
What happens is when Trump wins an election, he convinces a higher proportion of the under 40 vote to turn out for him than we've ever seen before. All of the Republicans say, oh, look at us, we're so great. We just, we won the youth vote because Republicans are great. And it's like, no, these people are not conservative and they hate you. Right. They only voted for Trump to give him a chance of fixing America, and you're screwing it up. And so I look at these people.
And you're screwing it up. These people are fleeing. Mark Mitchell's right. I'll have more after the break. Welcome to a Thursday. It's the Steve Gruber Show. All right, so you heard Mark Mitchell tell you they are fleeing because the American dream is fleeting to these young people. We hear the Republicans talking about young men, but what about young women? 81% of those young women voted for Mamdani in New York City. How do we deliver on Trump's agenda? How do we make America more affordable again? Let's go back to the health care question. I really like the solution being offered by President Trump and supported by people like Senator Roger Marshall, Dr. Roger Marshall, by the way. He has over 25 years of experience in the medical field. The plan is to turn patients into consumers, free up the billions we're spending to insurance companies, and put it back in the pockets of Americans instead. Listen to this.
Right, so this is something Rick Scott, Bill Cassidy, and I've been working on for years. What we want to do is stop the $150 billion every year that we're giving to insurance companies. Right. Let's give at least a part of that, these Biden-era Obama subsidies, let's give those to the people. Turn them into consumers again. This is about $35 billion a year. We would put it into an HSA and turn you into consumers again so you're making more everybody? Choices. For people that, certainly the people under the 400% or less. Yeah, of federal poverty level. That are on, the poverty level. That's about $122,000 a family.
Yeah. Senator Marshall has promised to have that plan out by next month. I'm looking forward to seeing it. It's something different, something that should have been talked about long ago. And that's not all this administration has done for healthcare. You've got Trump RX, the U.S. government website launching in 2026, enabling discounted direct-to-consumer drug purchases from manufacturers like Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk to cut prices by way of most favored nation deals. Trump also put the screws to Big Pharma to put caps on insulin to just $35 a month, which will save millions of Americans millions of dollars. He did the same thing for GLP-1s, making them more accessible to Americans who are trying to get healthy again by allowing them to buy straight from the manufacturers and, again, bypass the insurance providers. These are good steps in the right direction, but the Republican Party needs to laser focus on affordability. That is the word, or they're all going to get roasted. Part of the problem is that Gen Z is being brainwashed into believing socialism is a viable option. I shared Milton Friedman with you a bit ago on inflation, but the next generation didn't get to hear from Milton Friedman or from Thomas Sowell or any of the other great free market thinkers because our government schools are stacked against us. They don't teach those things. Charlie Kirk may have exposed this better than anyone as he made his stops at college campuses across the nation. Listen to this.
For example, what are you studying? Can I ask?
Economics.
Okay, so what do you think of Thomas Sowell?
I actually really like him. I bought his book, Basic Economics.
Great.
He's one of the first economists I ever
Do they
looked
teach it
at.
here?
Not yet, but also I've only been
Okay,
for like
so now
1
you're proving
year.
my point. If you're studying economics and they're not teaching Thomas Sowell, you're not getting an education, you're getting an indoctrination.
Well,
and you're
no.
being scammed.
Okay.
Milton Friedman, do they teach Milton Friedman here?
No, but I'm aware of him.
Okay, Ludwig von Mises,
I'm aware of him, but no.
Murray
Well,
Rothbard, hold on.
No.
F.A. Hayek,
No.
Frederick Bastiat.
No.
You're not getting economics education, you're getting an indoctrination. You should know every single, it's not your fault, but what you're paying for or going into debt for is not a real economic education.
He's exactly right. You don't know who Milton Friedman is? Really? They call it an economics course or a degree in what exactly? Rescuing public education from the grip of the left is going to be a long uphill battle, but it's not one we'll even be around to fight if the Republican Party doesn't offer a viable conservative alternative for, again, here's the word, affordability to the next generation. Capitalism works. We need to show young voters that it does. I'll leave you with one more gem from Milton Friedman. When he destroyed one of the early far-left TV stars, Phil Donahue, on our economic system compared to everything else. This is today's closing argument. Listen.
Did you ever have a moment of doubt about capitalism and whether greed's a good idea to run on?
Well, first of all, tell me, is there some society you know that doesn't run on greed? You think Russia doesn't run on greed? You think China doesn't run on greed? What is greed? Of course, none of us are greedy. It's only the other fellow who's greedy. The world runs on individuals pursuing their separate interests. The great achievements of civilization have not come from government bureaus. Einstein didn't construct his theory under order from a bureaucrat. Henry Ford didn't revolutionize the automobile industry that way. In the only cases in which the masses have escaped from the kind of grinding poverty you're talking about, the only cases in recorded history are where they have had capitalism and largely free trade. If you want to know where the masses are worst off, it's exactly in the kinds of societies that depart from that. So that the record of history is absolutely crystal clear, that there is no alternative way so far discovered of improving the lot of the ordinary people that can hold a candle to the productive activities that are unleashed by a free enterprise system.
But it seems...
And that kid, studying economics at some university, has no idea who Milton Friedman is. That's a great argument, by the way. It's one that Americans need to hear daily. But more importantly, it's one they need to see work. I'm calling on the Republican Party to make that happen because if you don't, the unhinged socialists that took over New York City will soon take over your neighborhood or county or state. It's all about affordability, and Republicans better get to work, or like I said, we will lose it all. That's today's warning, and you have been warned. If you've tried everything for cheek redness or breakouts and nothing seems to work, it's not your fault. The real cause might be deeper than you think. Introducing Clear Skin Ivermectin Cream from the Wellness Company, a prescription-strength dermatologist-developed formula that helps reduce inflammation, balance bacteria, and restore your skin's natural glow. This triple-action cream combines 3 medical ingredients for remarkable results: Asliac, to unclog pores and fade dark spots. Metronidazole to control bacterial imbalance and redness, and ivermectin for calm irritation and eliminate skin parasites that contribute to rosacea and acne. Together, these ingredients work to reduce bumps, swelling, and redness while supporting smoother, healthier, and more radiant skin over time. Formulated and compounded right here in the United States, this FDA-approved cream is trusted by doctors for viable and lasting results. Experience it. Go to twc.health/Gruber. Use the promo code Gruber. You'll save $20 and get free shipping. twc.health/Gruber. Promo code Gruber to save $20 and get that free shipping. I'll be right back. Good morning.